So as a woman in Africa, I want to inform you that no one is here to protect you. There are no resources for you. The system does not favor you. So it's your responsibility to choose correctly.
This advice is for African women. But then you can also listen to the advice if you're not from Africa or you're not residing in Africa, because I feel like this is for all women, but mostly for African women. So I saw this advice from this therapist. She was just basically advising African women when it comes to marriage, making choices that benefits you, making the right choices when it comes to marriage. And I decided to share it all today. So let's go ahead and watch this video together. And I'll be back to share my thoughts at the end of the video.
If you're a woman in Africa, this video is for you. If you're not a woman in Africa, please skip this video. It's not for you. So I'm going to wait for you to skip. So as a woman in Africa, I want to inform you that no one is here to protect you. There are no resources for you. The system does not favor you. So it's your responsibility to choose correctly. It's your responsibility to choose right. You can't afford to make a mistake when it comes to choosing a man to have kids with and a man to get married to. Okay? I'm a therapist and I speak to ladies every day. And the system in Africa does nothing for you when you need them. When a man leaves you, you can't take him to court to pay child support in Africa. I mean, you can, but the journey is difficult. It's not as easy as it is abroad. At least abroad, when a man is abusing you, you can get a restraining order. You can take him to court. You can get alimony when you divorce him. You know, there are stuff like prenups. You know, there are so many things that exist to sort of protect and just help women out. Even abroad, right, there's something they call shelters. So when a woman is abused or she's homeless, there are shelters that she can go and sleep in. In Africa, at least where I am, in Ghana, in Nigeria, there's no shelter. If you get married to a wrong man and he chases you out of your house, where are you gonna go? There are no shelters for women that are abused. You can't take a man to the police. You can't take a man to court when you're exposed to abuse. I mean, you can, but you have to have the money to do that. You have to have the money to pay lawyers. Lawyers are not free in Africa. Abroad, there are charities that provide lawyers for women. Stuff like that do not exist in Africa. And even if it does, it's difficult to access it. Accessing resources in Africa is almost impossible. It's almost impossible to access even medical resource. People barely can access that. How much more getting legal support and legal resources? It's almost impossible. If you choose wrongly and this man makes you homeless, there's no place to go. You can't take a man to court to pay child support. You can't get a restraining order from a man. Abroad, you get a restraining order. A man can't come close to you as much as 100 kilometers. You know, I don't know how they really set that. But in Africa, there's nothing like stuff like that do not exist. It doesn't exist. So please make the right decisions, ladies, because there are women that they have to be in horrible situations because they don't have a choice. The system can't help them. I know it's not the fault of the system. The system did not push you to make that decision. But sometimes you make the best decision at the time, but eventually people change and become horrible. And the system is supposed to protect you. But in Africa, the system is not for women. The system is not for women. So before you marry, before you have kids, survey your environment and make the best decision. Choose a man that would never expose you to needing the system. Understand that if you're married today, understand that no one will protect you, especially if you have old parents. If you have old parents as a woman, I mean, if your parents are young and something goes wrong in your marriage, they can be there for you. You can go to their places. But if you have old parents or if your parents are late, you shouldn't make a wrong decision. You shouldn't. You shouldn't make a wrong decision. You should make the best. Make sure you're getting married. A glass fell. But make sure you're getting married to I won't cut it. I'll just continue the video. Make sure you're getting married to the best man. Make sure you're getting married to the best man, to the kindest man that will never expose you. Okay, so this is just like a warning or an advice, because the past week I had a lot of therapy sessions that related to these type of topics, and I got to just experience on hands the consequences of making the wrong decisions and how the system in Africa do not favor women. I'm exposed to these type of situations, and as a therapist, I can only help you with a lot. I can help you with your mental health. I can help you with, there's just so much I can do, but I don't have the physical resources. I don't have the money to get a house for you. I don't have the money to pay for a lawyer for you. There's just so much I can do, and it breaks my heart that I can't help so many women. But for women that haven't made the decisions yet, heed to my advice. Heed to my advice. I broke a glass telling you guys this advice, so please listen to my advice. Let my cup of wine not go in vain. But yeah, anyways, just be careful, be wise. Women in Africa, just make good decisions, because no one is here to protect us. No one is here to save us. So just make sure you're choosing the best man. Okay.
I feel like one of the reasons why most African women are suffering in their marriages is because these men know that there is no way out. It's not like there is no way out. It's not like African women cannot divorce their partner, but it's not as easy as they say it or as it looks, right? Maybe another place, maybe in America, it can be easier, but for us in Africa, Nigeria, any other place, any other country in Africa might not be easy because of the culture and because of probably the law that binds man and woman together. You will see in marriage, you will see a man and a woman married probably in any country in Africa, and let me just say Nigeria because I'm in Nigeria, if you don't know. So if you see a husband and a wife married in Nigeria and you see the man, abusing her, and she's kind of fed up or anything, or probably something led to another, and they decide to travel out of the country to start a new life, right? Most of the time, that's when you see the woman start showing herself, start, maltreating the man, and start like, okay, this is another country, another continent. Like, you cannot treat me the way you were treating me in Africa back then, where you were beating me, you're getting away with it. You can't do all of that right here. And that's when you see women coming out and they will start pushing their husband out of there, like, get out of my house. All these things cannot happen in Africa. You want to pursue man out of house. How? It's the man that is renting the house. It's the man that will pursue you out of the house. That's when you see men send their wife out of the house because they are the one paying rent, or because they are the one feeding the wife's family. They'll send her out of the house, or knowing that the wife doesn't have money and she's a traditional wife, she takes care of the family, takes care of the children, takes care of him as well. So she doesn't even have time to make money for herself. And he is aware, then he will, with his full choice, send her out of the house, knowing that she's going to be stranded and she has nobody to call for help. And eventually she's going to call him for help. What are we even saying? What we're saying is that I feel like this man knows that they can get away with a lot of things. They get away with cheating, they get away with abuse, they get away with raping, they get away with so many things, even violence. They get away with so many things. And it gives them that confidence that I can do anything because I am in this place and I can just treat this woman anyhow. Right? So this is just like an advice to ladies that feel like, okay, once I get in, when the man do anyhow, I will get out. It is not so easy for you to get out, because at the end of the day, it's either you run away illegally or something else. And most of the time, these men know and they will not marry you legally. Some marriages are not done legally. They're just done by family binding, like, okay, traditionally, it's not legal. So that is why these men can go to another place to start looking for another woman and marry another woman while being married to his wife, because of course they're not legally married. And even if they're legally married, My friend of mine was telling me that even if you're legally married here in Nigeria, you can still marry again. Like, I'm married to people at the same time. Like, I was like, are you serious? To tell you how the law works, it favors men so much. It is a man's word when it comes to this place. So if you want to go into marriage, if you want to go into committed relationship, you want to start having baby daddy, make sure you know what you're doing. Make sure you're doing it for benefit. You're benefiting something, at least you know that you're going in with your clear eye, not going in because you are in love, right? Because at the end of the day, you might be in love and the other person knows why is getting you into that state. Right? And most of these men know what they're doing. They always, when they marry these wives, they tell them, don't work, stay at home, or they start pumping babies. They turn them to baby making machine so that you're going to be useless. Or they start providing so much for the wife's family so that the wife's family will start seeing them as, oh, Lord, like, oh, this. And when they start providing so much to their husband, to their wife's family, it's difficult for the wife to go and meet her parents and say, Mom and Dad, I want to leave this man. They'll pursue you out. See, the way African parents act, sometimes are just like, they will clearly see you suffering in your marriage and they will tell you to stay inside and suffer. That's what happened. That's basically what happened. They'll tell you to stay inside, that you're not going to come back to their house because they're not going to accept you because of the shame, because of probably they're afraid what their friends will say, oh, your own daughter left her husband's house because they pursue her because of her bad character, or they're afraid what their husband will say. So your mom will not accept you into her house because of what her husband will say, that is your father, or what her friends will say, or what people in the neighborhood or society will say. They will tell you to stay put. So far the man has not killed you, stay there. Okay, most of them will not take you back, and most of them will not take you back because of what they're collecting from your husband. If your husband is a very boxed up person, most of the time, man that does like that, men that have so much money, right? So they will like spoils the family, the wife's family with so much luxury. They might even be taking care of, or taking care of the siblings, sending them to school and all of that. So they have, they can control a lot of things, right? So a man that is doing something like that will maltreat his wife at home, and she cannot come out to tell her family that this is what is going on. Because even if she comes out to tell her family is what's going on, they'll tell her, go back to your husband's house and beg him. So that is why you see, even men, these African men, they try to they'll offend you, but you're still, as a woman, you're still the one that will still beg them. Even when it comes to religion, doesn't even favor women at all. They will still tell you women that we are the problem. So it is advisable, if you want to go through the marriage route, if you want to go through commitments with a man and you want to be in Africa, I'm going to say Nigeria, maybe Ghana as well. Kind of in the same, anyways, maybe because it's West Africa. I feel like you do it with your clear eye, knowing that what if I don't get out of what if I cannot get out of it easily. It's not like you can get out of it. You can get out of it, but it's not as easy as it looks. It takes a lot of courage, it takes a lot of commitment, it takes a lot of boldness. And it takes a woman that knows what she's doing. It takes a woman that knows what she wants for her to get out of an abusive relationship. That's why you see women unaliving in that kind of marriages, because nobody's going to help you. Your friends are going to turn their back against you. Your family is not going to be there. The one person that's supposed to be there, which is your mom, will tell you, you have to be there because I stayed with your father, even he did worse than me. So you have to even stay there knowing that you are not benefiting anything in that marriage. So this is just like a dating advice to African women. And if you're not African woman, you see a dating advice for you. Or you advise any African woman you know. So see, have you experienced anything like this? Let me know that in the comment section. What is your take? What do you think African women can do? What do you think they can do probably to get away with all of this? I feel like the one thing you can do is just, probably don't get married to these people. What do you think? Don't get married. Just, focus on yourself, because most of the time they always advise women to get married sharp, 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 sharp. So what you're going to just ignore the advice and just focus on yourself, make your own money. Once you're a boss lady, Nobody's going to talk to you anyhow, right? What is your take on today's video? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section respectfully. It's your favorite girl again, Maria Davids, and thank you so much for tuning in today's video. I hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe and turn on the post notification bell to get notified once I upload another interesting video. And of course, I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.